Yesterday I was on the hunt for some vintage Halloween, and I headed to the Freelton Antique Mall in Ontario, close to Guelph. Did I find some vintage Halloween? Let's find out. Yeah, our visit to Freelton yesterday was quite successful. I will get to some of the Halloween-related items that I was able to find, and very rare stuff. It's hard to find that stuff here in Canada. I think it was more prominent in the States. But I'll start out with some of the smaller items that I love to pick up when I see it, if it's reasonably priced and I have ability to make a little bit of money on the secondary market for those. So let's start. I love to pick up books, as people who have watched my videos know. I really liked this cover. It was in great shape. The back spine has some issues, but the book itself in really good condition. The coloration inside is quite striking, as is typical of books from this era, which I believe is the 50s and 60s. This one says 1963. Casper and Wendy. It'll look great in a Halloween display. I do have some Halloween stuff out already in my booth, as well as here at home from my own collection, and it will look quite nice sitting there. So yeah, that was the first book that I had seen. Now here's a little golden book that I was looking for quite a while, and I think I found one once that was in terrible condition because it is pretty old. It's called The Happy Little Whale. Now maybe I'll do a reading of it at some future video, as I think that was kind of fun when I did one last week. But it's got kind of an interesting message, this book, so it'll be an interesting book for discussion if anyone wants to talk about it. But you'll see what I mean if I do make a video of this book. I do a reading of it. You'll see what I mean. This one I had seen before, but I don't think I had it in my collection. I love the artwork. I don't know if this was a cartoon or it became a Disney movie. I don't remember, but it seemed familiar. So I picked this guy up in great condition, and it was a good price, so that will go in my booth. Here's an older book that I'd never seen before. Again, I may do a reading of this one because it's quite cute, but the pictures again are quite striking, very bold and colorful, as you can see there. And oh yeah, I like the inside flap as well, the jacket or the cover, the inside cover. It has a little bit of summary of the author with it, which I thought was cute as well, because quite often you just don't know anything about these authors or artists, except for some of the more prominent ones. But anyways, that was a good one as well. And in the book theme, I also picked up a comic book that I thought would look good in a Halloween display. So what I usually do with these older ones, I don't go and have them graded all the time, because some of them just aren't worth the cost to do so. But I do have some sleeves that I can put them in, like hard plastic sleeves, to preserve them a bit, and I'll put them in my booth as well in the display case. And there's always a collector out there looking for these old comic books. And with Halloween, I thought the UFO flying saucer theme was kind of relevant, so I picked that one up as well. Again, it was a reasonable price, and it's in really exceptional condition for its age. I don't know if any of you remember Bazooka Joe bubblegum. Back in the 70s, we would get some at the dime stores, the 5 and dimes, and it always had a little cartoon in it. But there was apparently a Viewmaster reel that was made of the character, and this was in really good shape, and it was only $5, so I picked this up. I do think this one would sell quite well on Etsy, so I may keep it for a little while with my other Viewmaster reels. What I like to do sometimes is collect them, and then I will sell them as a lot. So I do have some that are similar themed, similar era, and they would look good together in a lot on Etsy. Or eBay, depending on how old they are. And this particular one, I do have a Viewmaster, so I'll take a look at it first to see what it's about, because I'm kind of curious. I'm always looking for ephemera and interesting graphics. This one, at first I thought was Tony the Tiger, but it is not. This is a promotional from a bank in the US, and I remember having them here in Canada as well, where they would give you these for children, and then they would collect coins and then bring those coins to start their own bank account. So you can see that they would encourage kids to save with these little collector books. You would put your coins in there, and then once it was full, you would bring it to the bank, and you would start your own little bank account. So it's an interesting learning thing for children. I wish they would do more of that now. But anyways, I love the graphic on it. That's why I picked that up. Speaking of graphics, I picked up this, and at first it was just the eye-catching graphic on it. I thought it might be Avon, because Avon in the 70s would have done something like this. This is by Corby. It's called, can't even read it, it's called Swizzlemanship. Swizzlemanship. I don't know why they call it that, but it's pretty cool. The box is in really good condition. The colors are quite bright. They remind me a little bit of earlier than the 70s, but they do have that mod look to them, that 70s mod look. So I'm assuming that they're from the late 60s or early 70s. And then inside are these little swizzle picks. People would use them for, let's see if I can get a close-up. People would use them for hors d'oeuvres. They would maybe put them on cupcakes for a party. Use them for olives, like at a martini party. There's all kinds of reasons why people were using picks, and we'll get more picks later, but these ones I just thought were cute. And it has a full box full of them still, so I think that'll be a good Etsy item, and I'll be able to sell that. Either the box with all the picks, or maybe some of the picks on their own. Some collectors don't want the box, and some do, so it's just a matter of taste, I guess. I picked up this Fisher-Price guy. I hope he's focusing for you. I have seen this guy. I believe he was with a race car. He's a little more rare than most of them that you would see, the typical ones. So I picked him up. He was at $3. And I thought, yeah, he is a good one to put in with a lot. And it's very possible that I do have the racing car somewhere. I've got a lot of Little People Fisher-Price items, and I just have to sort through them. It's all in my storage unit as well. So eventually I'll pair them up with something appropriate, either a race car or a spaceship, and away we go. I'm always looking for vintage Barbie clothing. It sells really well on the secondary market and in my booth. I have a ton of it that I have to sort through, and I've just came up with a really interesting way to display it, which is key when you're trying to organize in your and maximize your space within your booth. It can go on Etsy as well, but some of it's just not worth putting on Etsy. I like to put a lot of something on Etsy or on eBay, but sometimes it's just fun to have it sitting in your booth with a bunch of the old dolls. The stand I didn't pick up yesterday, but I like to use it to display. So it came in two packages. The one was this interesting jacket with the faux fur on it, and then underneath was, let me just get that, was this shirt. I don't know if you can see it because it's a little bit of a mesh shirt, but it is a shirt with Barbie faces on it. So I thought, oh, well, that's interesting. It's kind of cannibalizing your own brand, but I thought that was kind of cool. And then it had this mini skirt with it, which isn't that old, but I thought together they looked quite good, and they would probably sell really well. So there's that. And speaking of Barbie, I've got this guy here. I believe he is California Ken or Sunshine Ken. They've got him as Sun and Surf Ken. He came out in a couple of different variations. I had the ski version when I was growing up. My sisters had Barbies, and I had this Ken doll. I do have a few of these already. I'm always looking for the best sample for my collection, and then I sell the ones that kind of fall off that chart of, okay, this one's better, so this one I can sell off. This one is one of the nicest ones I've seen. It's not got a lot of damage. Its clicking motions for the legs still work. Sometimes that function is broken, and it even still has the original bathing suit that came with this particular version, which was a California beach version. And quite often the sun tanning that they have on them can dry up the rubber, and in this case it's still in really good condition, so whoever owned it obviously took care of it. And I picked it up for $14, which is not bad. These usually go for about $25 to $30 on eBay. If you've got the clothing, the original clothing, it can go for a little more. But I'll probably keep this one in my collection until I can sort through which ones I do believe are the best example of one of these, and then I will sell the others. Now, one thing I was quite surprised to find, I wasn't expecting it at all, but I found this zoo. Now, this zoo is full of animals which are quite common. You can find these zoo animals from the 70s and 60s everywhere. They still make the molds of these, and that's not anything in particular that's special. However, if I looked at the cover closely, you can just see right there is a Tarzan figure. Now, they are not referencing him as a Tarzan figure at all in this packaging, so it must have just been yeah, so I don't know. Here is a list of everything that's in it, and they call him Tarzan. So I don't know if this is a knockoff set that came from Hong Kong. No, but it has all the parts in it, including the little Tarzan guy, which I was really excited about. And let me just see if I can find him quickly. I'll show you what he looks like. Here he is. And here is the Tarzan figure. Hopefully it's focusing. I can't quite tell from this angle, but yeah, and he's in remarkable condition. On the bottom it says Hong Kong, so that mold is the Tarzan mold from the jungle set that he came in. And he has the really freaky eyes that a lot of the painting from that era was not really good, so it's nice to have this particular figure. It's probably worth more than the entire set that I paid for it, and I paid $18 for it. That Tarzan alone can go for $30 to $40 on eBay, and on some of the Facebook groups where these vintage toys are collected. There's always someone looking for that sort of thing. You can see some of the other animals are quite interesting. I've never seen this particular mold of a panther. Hold on. Alright, and there's the panther. You can see he's got some blue paint on his face. It's quite a nice sample. And then it's got a bunch of things. I'm not sure if they're supposed to be in with it or not. This truck, I believe, is. But this particular truck, I'm not so sure. It's broken anyways. And then it's got some of these cute cages that have some of the animals in it. So it's quite a real mishmash of items. But in particular, I was happy to find that Tarzan. I think that was the score for this particular box. And the box itself is in quite good condition still. And quite often those are still collectible too. Alright, now let's talk about this bottle first. So this bottle, and I'm not sure you can tell, but it's got a starburst pattern on it, which is quite mid-century. This cola I have never heard of, Sinar. It actually doesn't even sound, it sounds more like poison, but it is dry limited, Toronto, Canada. It's probably some kind of a Canada Dry ginger ale or something like that. But I picked it up because I'd never seen this bottle. Bottles are collectible, and this particular bottle is, once I've got it cleaned up, is quite unique to me anyways. And I do look at bottles all the time. Glassware is one of my areas that I'm really interested in lately, so I was happy to find that. I thought it was quite cool. Alright, hopefully I'm getting this on the camera. It's a large A.J. Renzi pumpkin. I was quite surprised to see this one because it was one of the ones in the pictures that Freelton Antique Market had on their Facebook. And the A.J. Renzis are difficult to find, in particular in Canada. Now, what's unique about an A.J. Renzi and how you know that it's probably an A.J. Renzi is because it has an embossed back on it. Sometimes it's just a witch, sometimes it's a cat. This one in particular has a couple of pumpkins and a cat, and it says treat, trick on the top and treat on the bottom. And I had to grab it. I paid probably too much for it. It's got a little bit of a damaged cord, but yeah, I'm happy to add this one to my collection. I will keep it for a while and then I will sell it in a few years, as I do with most things once I get tired of them. This one has some coloration issues for being in the sun, which happens. You can see a line here, so I'm not sure if some of it was more in the sun and the others, or if it's just a flaw in the way that this plastic was made, which is possible as well. And the next thing I'm going to show you are these picks, Halloween picks. Now, those are very rare to find in this condition because they quite often got tossed out with the trash after the party. These were used in cupcakes or hors d'oeuvres. They were sometimes put as cake toppers, and they are just amazing. Like, look at the little face on this guy. They even painted it, even the cat. Yeah, I do have a couple of these, but finding them in the wild is very difficult. It's very rare that I find them, so when I do find them, I'm quite happy to pick them up. They were a little overpriced, but still nice to have in your collection. And I got this little witch and this little scarecrow guy, which I also thought were quite cool. These are more cake toppers. They do not have a pick on them, so they would be more for decoration on top of your cupcakes or your treats, or as giveaways for a kid's party. Alright, now the main thing that I was quite happy to find was this particular guy right here, which is a Blinky. Now, Blinky is the brand right there, and he's in really good condition. I was quite happy to find him. The box was included, and I have a very large one that I picked up this year as well in my own antique mall. One of the vendors there has quite often state finds, and he finds a lot of Christmas and Halloween items. So I did pick up one from him, which strangely was the same price as this little guy, but I think I paid $35 for this one and $40 for the large one. But I just couldn't pass him up because he is one that I was looking for a while. And I don't think in Canada these are that easy to find. See that he's in really good shape. Look at that. The color is still remarkable. He did come with a lamp, but that was a little bit sus because it had some tape around the wire, so I'm not sure that I'm going to use that. I do have a ton of the little clip lights, so I'm not going to risk that. But anyway, yeah, very happy to find this guy. Anyway, overall, it was a great day with my sister out at the Antique Mall, and found some great stuff. Also, we went to a Value Village, and I found a few things there, but I'll maybe include that in another video at another time. Hope you enjoyed this. At the end, I'm going to show some of the other items that we saw, but we didn't purchase, just because they were pretty cool, and I always enjoy seeing things that I just normally wouldn't see, and I like to summarize that at the end of some of my videos. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please like and share and subscribe. I hope to do more videos more regularly, and I'm going to try and figure out what the best format is. I know for myself, haul videos aren't my favorite, so I keep doing haul videos because music is always playing when I'm doing videos, so it's hard for me to just take the camera along. and take you along on the adventure itself. But I do think some of the items are interesting enough to share in a haul, so that's why I do them. I'll also do more book readings because I thought that was kind of fun and I got an interesting response from that. So that's what I hope the future brings. Anyways, thank you. Hope you have a great day, and we'll see you again.